Hey, welcome back to another episode of Soulful Sundays with Madge. If you are new to this channel, my name is Madge. I want to thank you all for supporting the channel. While on this journey with me, we will discuss challenges that come up at different points in time in our lives and how our perspective can be a great tool in helping us to overcome some of these apparent life obstacles. And as always, if you like what you receive, feel free to hit that like button, leave a comment below, ring the bell to subscribe to the channel. This way when I upload, you will receive notification. And always know you can email me at askmadge18@gmail.com with any questions you may have with this video, a past video, or just any general questions. So with that being said, we're gonna get into this week's topic, which is slow and steady. So I don't know if you've ever had a point in time in your life where you're looking outwardly, you're looking at other people, or you're looking at certain situations that are taking place in others' lives, and you're thinking, why does it seem like it's always happening for other people and it's just not happening for myself? Well, I'm guilty. I have had some of these very same thoughts if you've had them. And what I want to say is that depending on how we continue to view that thought, it's either going to empower us or it's going to contribute to making us feel more diminished and affecting our self-worth. And so whenever I have these thoughts, I like to try to shift my mindset, and we'll get into that as well, but I want to share a story with you. I don't know if you've ever heard the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. Well, just like any other plant, the Chinese bamboo tree requires a lot of nurturing through fertile soil, through water, through sunshine. Now, through years 1 through 4, one might say that this Chinese bamboo tree is hardly growing. Outwardly, you see no change to the eye. You see nothing happening, and it's just like, what's going on? You're nurturing it, you have the fertile soil, you're giving it plenty, well, nature is giving it the sunshine that it needs, but everything, you're consistent in nurturing this plant, but it just seems like nothing is happening. Then in year 5, within 6 weeks, the Chinese bamboo tree grows 80 feet tall. Now, one might say, there's no way that this tree just grew exponentially in 6 weeks, and I would agree. But what meets the eye, the outward expression of this tree is, wow, look at that tree, look at all the growth. But a lot of times what happens is we neglect what happened in years 1 through 4. What was taking place in years 1 through 4 that no one knew about, all the development, all the growth that was truly happening in the roots is what supported this tree to grow 80 feet tall in 6 weeks. And I find that this is very similar to how we can view ourselves and circumstances that happen outside of us. We can see deliberate steps that we're taking in our lives to make changes, and it just seems like nothing is happening. I've been working this for a month. I've been working it for a year, or however long it's been, and you feel like nothing is happening. And a lot of times that's when we give up. We give up right before we're becoming, right before we're able to achieve, not knowing that depending on what it is that we're working towards, it could take time. It could take time to develop. It could take time to develop in our core. It can take for us to have a change mindset, to nurture our mind, to nurture whatever deliberate changes we need to make in our lives in order to make room within ourselves for the capacity make capacity within ourselves for us to be able to express whatever it is that we're looking to grow and for it to manifest on the outside. And so when I am looking at the evolution of something outside of me, whether it's a person or just whatever is going on, I like to think about this Chinese bamboo tree, and I want to say I don't know what that person's journey was. I don't know the work that the person put on during the quiet times behind the scenes that no one's seen, that they had to do in order to get what the eye was finally able to see. But a lot of times in life, that's what we see. We see it and we believe that right there, it just happened. When in fact, it didn't just happen. There was work going on behind the scenes that we were not privy to. So, and I'll share a story with that, and don't mind my dog behind me. But, so currently in my life, I'm working multiple areas of my life. Now, one might say, well, you're working multiple areas. Where is your focus? You may get distracted. You may not be able to invest energy and time if you're working multiple areas of your life. And I would say in certain situations, I would agree with you. However, the multiple areas that I'm working in my life, they all really do have a common goal in the end. So instead of me working one part of that area and then waiting for, it to reveal itself, manifest itself, I'm just kind of like, it's all really one goal. And so I'm just going to work multiple things. Now, as you know, in life, we can become distracted. There's so much going on in our day-to-day lives that a lot of times we can believe that nothing is happening. You're working these different areas of your life, you're looking for some growth, you're looking for some sort of positive changes to show up, and a lot of times it can seem like, what is going on? So I'm going to tell you a story about this for me, and hopefully it will help you and encourage you. So maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, so just to tell you, I work 2 jobs. I work a full-time job, I work a part-time job, and so a lot of times I'm working 7 days a week. So I can remember on the weekends that I would come home and my house would be a mess. Like my daughter would have my living room a mess, my kitchen a mess, and I would be so upset. I would turn into Momzilla, and I would just cry. I would feel so helpless. Like, why does she, to me, I felt like was being destroying my home. Like, why is she doing this? She knows that I'm working so hard for us. I'm doing all these things that I can do to provide us with a better life, and always looking for ways to improve our lives even more. Like, why am I coming home after, I'm working 7 days, and I'm coming home after working an 8-9 hour day, and I can't rest, or I feel like I can't rest because I can't rest if my house is a mess. So I have to clean and I'm Momzilla at the same time. So I read this book called The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Now, I'm not going to list all the 5 love languages of the book, but read it. It's a great read when understanding the way people receive and give love. It enlightened me. It opened my eyes to let me know that there is more ways that people give and receive love, and it's not the way in which we want to receive it and the way that we give it. And a lot of times that is what can cause frustration. So I'm telling this story, but it is going to serve a purpose. So when I read this book, I realized that one of my core ways that I give and receive love is through acts of service, which truly didn't surprise me because growing up, my father was huge on acts of service. And so he did a lot. And that is how I began to see how love looks like for me. So a person showing up, how are you doing? Let me help you carry the groceries in. Let me check the oil of the car. I don't know, open the door, close the door. Hey, I was just calling you to think about you, or, to check up on you. To me, these are the ways that I receive love and how I give love through acts of service. So I became aware through reading this book that that's why I was so frustrated at my daughter, because I was giving through service and I was expecting to receive her love back to me through, well, let me keep the house clean. Let me wash the dishes. Let me make sure that my mom comes home to this perfect, neat house, because that is how I wanted to receive love. But that's not the way that my daughter gave love. So through reading this book, I realized that my daughter's she was strong with words of affirmation. So in order for me to be able to get acts of service through her, I was going to have to switch my mindset from being Momzilla to becoming more of a teacher, a guider. So what took place was this. Every week, let's clean together. So we're going to clean together, and I was tired, but here's the thing. I was tired when I was Momzilla and I was doing it on my own, and I was just a Momzilla while I was doing it. So now I was done being the Momzilla, and I was going to be tired still doing it, but we were going to do it together. And I was going to teach her, and I was going to talk to her and explain to her through positive words of affirmation why this was important, why I like a clean home, why it should be important to her to want to have a clean home. You know, so I say all this to say that a lot of times, I don't know if you saw the movie 50 First Dates, but that's how I felt. I felt like it was 50 First Dates. I was constantly doing this, and I was feeling like nothing was changing. And a lot of times I was crying, like, what is going on? What am I missing? Why isn't it working? So probably like within a week ago, I came home from my part-time job. And I am in a place in my life where there's so much going on. That I have to really be deliberate at making sure that I am intentional of really seeing what is going on around me in the best light possible. So I come in from work, I was tired. And I can remember I walked in and I looked at my living room. And then I looked at my kitchen and I was like, wow, it's clean. Now, if I allowed the stresses of what's going on in my current situation to consume me, I might not have been able to see a win in one of the areas of my life that I have been nurturing, that I have been watering, that I have been putting sunshine into. I might have completely missed it. Earlier this week, I came downstairs, if kids are home, sometimes, you go to sleep, your kitchen looks one way, you wake up, it looks a totally different way. But I got up in the morning and I was going to make coffee and my kitchen was spotless. And I was like, wow. So I just want to encourage you to know, whatever it is that you're working on, that you're nurturing, that you have that fertile soil that you're working so hard to keep fertile so that whatever those seeds are that you're planting can sprout and harvest and multiply. I want to say sometimes it just takes time. It took for that area of my life, and it's not done. I have to continue to be consistent with my mindset of I am a teacher. I'm not a Momzilla any longer. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a guider. I want to use positive words and really guide and teach why this is important. And what I find now is that it is much easier. I can say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm looking to see. We're going to do it together. I see things that she may have done and I'm getting ready to do it. And then in my mind, I say, I am a teacher. I am a guider. You're not going to do it. You're going to show her how to do it, and you're going to allow her to do it so that she can better understand how to pick up after herself and why we don't do certain things because, this is what it takes to correct it. So whatever it is that you're working on, so I just want to encourage you to not give up. Now, if it's something that you're pouring your energy into that you don't really feel like is of true importance, then I say take some time, pray on it, meditate, consider, seek guidance to know if that's something that you want to move forward with in your life. But if you're having a burning desire and you're believing in something in your life that you really want to produce, you really want to manifest, and you're believing that it is possible and it's taking so long and you're just at that point where you're feeling like, is this gonna work? Why am I even doing it? Maybe I should just give up. I want to encourage you to keep going, keep pressing in, keep being persistent in whatever it is that you're doing, because I set out on the journey to have a different home life, a different structure and how I was going to parent my children, switching my mindset. That was, like I said, that was one area in my life that I really wanted to put a switch on, and I'm seeing evidence that it is working. And it took years and it took tears. But if I have to be completely honest with myself, it was something that I neglected for so many years that I'm having to now make up for the years that I neglected. So that kind of can speak to when we're also looking outwardly and we're looking at what other people have and we're wondering why we don't have it. Ask yourself a real honest question. Have you really given much thought to that area of your life? Were you really diligently and being deliberate and working towards achieving a similar goal or a goal in that area of your life? And understanding that we don't know what that person's mindset was and what they were working on during the times that no one's seen it, when they were in their quiet time, when it was first a thought before it became a form. So as always, I always want to end on something, a quote or a scripture, something that we can take with us into the week that can help us while we are working our goals and we are looking to make changes in our lives, and it just seems like it's slow and steady. So what I want to leave us with is what James Austin once said, and he said, chance favors those in motion. So I just want to say small and deliberate steps are better than no steps at all. So I encourage you to keep moving, keep pressing in, continue working whatever it is that you're looking to manifest and show up in your life. It may take years, but what I can tell you is this: when I came home from work and I saw a clean home, I felt so happy, and everything else that was going wrong, it didn't even matter, because in that moment I had a win. So I want you to take care, and I want you to have a blessed week. Bye.